Fame award in 1984 from David Padilla Evans and founder Larry Ebony. So I was in the Hall of Fame in 1984. I was named legendary in 1984, Hall of Fame 1983, and legendary William Dupree. So then it followed me, the legendary Kevin Omni, which I did not use until 1989. Because it didn't mean nothing. Because wherever you went in New York City, California, wherever, once you came into a club or whatever, people knew who you were because your name preceded you.
Oh, so that is what it's all about. It's all about the fun and you know, and...
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm sorry to cut you off. My first reality with that is when I went to Philadelphia in 1989, and they treated me some kind of overweight. I mean, champagne and this, that, and other. Miss Alvernian, I love her. That's my nephew. And so when I went to California, the first thing they said was, "Oh, you're a celebrity," which I just heard recently last week. Me and my son Kai went to the Monsters. The child comes and says, "I see you on Facebook. You're a celebrity." And I'm like, "Thank you." You know?
So
didn't matter about status back then.
So,
you know, you just knew that you was a winner and everybody liked you.
Right. Yes. So, what are all the existing houses of today?
Well, you have. Oh, I'm not going to go into naming all of them. Could I get a more specific question? Do you want who I hire as houses today?
What are some of the new houses of today?
Oh, you have. Can't call Mizrahi new because got different eras. Mizrahi came out right around 92. And Milan were my grandchildren, and they started in 1989. And then you have... See, so I guess if you want to call it, well, for back then you had... It's kind of difficult.
How about this for a question? How does a house start? How does a house begin? Where does it start from?
Well, everybody has a different way of doing things. I can tell you how I did. I walked my first 15 balls and won my first 15 trophies without any house. I had one house member, which was Grandpa Artie Omni. She was best dressed Butch, legendary, and became an icon, but she passed away in 1995. That would sit there walking. You know, then she started walking and carrying on because she would have shoes made, men crocodile shoes with different fur coats every time she walked. She worked at the post office. But anyway, getting back to your question, I just attracted people that had the same interests that I had. They were working or they were going to school. And even if they were doing either or but had a great personality, that's what allowed you to be an Omni. And then, some people come, "Can I be in your house?" And, would befriend each other in the village. And they would say, "Kevin, I want to be an Omni." So sometimes, and me knowing that person, working hard, having a job, whatever, I accept it. Then there's different people that will put you in, "Oh, you got to win 3 trophies first, and they got to be grand prize in order to get in the house, and this, that, and other." I didn't work that way, but others did.
Okay.
So, or let me put it raw. There's some people that got in houses because they slept with whoever the mother or father was, and that's why they got in there. Because sometimes you scratch your head and say, "Well, why did they let that child in?"
Ooh.
Really? Oh, now I know.
Yes.
One of those things. Okay.
So, who is the overseer of all the houses? Or do you think there should be an overseer of all the houses?
Who's the overseer of all the houses? There's none. Now, if you say, who's the West overseer?
Do you think there should be an overseer of all the houses?
Who?
Do you think there should be an overseer of all the houses?
No, because you're going to have conflict because everybody has a difference of how they run their house.
And everybody wants to be in charge.
Happy with and what they with. So you can't statement about overall. Like some people are the overall Midwest father for the House of Omni. Then we have like the overall father for the East Coast Omni. You know what I mean? I'm founder over everybody in the House of Omni, but that's just as far as it goes. I don't have any say-so in the houses of Ebony or this one or that one, and it's the same thing for them. They're not going to have overseer that's not in their house telling them what to do.
Now, for those houses that you have to walk balls in order to become a member or be pledged into the house, how many balls do you think they should walk before they consider themselves a legend or legendary?
Well, there's many complications about that. I'm going to tell you. There was a stipulation. I even wrote the stipulation. Legendary after 10 years. Icon after 20. Lifetime achiever after 25. But there's different meanings to everything. See, things have changed because of the times have changed. Like some things they do now, we would have never did back then. You know what I mean? But have, I'm losing my train of thought. Give me a question one more time so I can get right back to it.
How many balls would you walk in order to be considered legend or legendary?
Don't know, because if you are walking, say, 10 years and now you're officially a legend because someone announced you to be a legend, what the criteria is, I think a legend is someone that wins a certain amount of trophies and put in a certain amount of years and given 2 balls that were successful or something to that effect in order to be a real legend. You know, but then they break it down. There's people that are legendary for a category. They win this category 4 years in a row. They're legendary for that category. You know, they have a stamp on them. American runway, or, you know, like my son Kai, you know, Balenciaga, you know, American runway, and he's got his stamp already. So he's legendary for that category. But he's legendary overall. You know, he's been doing he put in his time in years. So you have, it's different. I don't know. You know, I could say one thing and everybody else could say another.
Right.
But the amount of balls they need to walk according to that house or to everybody else out there. I don't tell people you have to walk a certain amount of balls to get in my house. I had stopped recruiting members, but the Omnis know those who they bring in the house or to me, they already know that they have passed the screening test because the personality. And the second thing is to make priority education and job and maintain yourself. I don't want to hear about you're sleeping on this one's floor, on that one's couch, you're in and out of jail. I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't attract that type of element.
Okay. What are the 5 basic principles of your house?
Well, I've given you 3. One is having a job. 2 is having at least a high school diploma. 3 was having a great personality. And 4 would be making sure your priorities come first, such as working and school before a ball, and definitely have fun at the ball. That's all number 4. And number 5 is for you to understand one very important. There's 2 statements that I've made in my lifetime. Is throughout the 80s and the 90s, and even into 2000 and up to 2013, which still holds today for 2014. I'm Kevin Omni with you, and I'm Kevin Omni without you. Everything I did, I stood on my own 2 feet. I didn't rub elbows with nobody to get a 10. I did not rub elbows or sleep with people. I did it like Barney's department store, the clothing store, doing it the Christian way. I earned it.
Right.
And everything else.
And that's how it should be.
Always.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Omni with you, I'm Kevin Omni without you. Now, my second quote just started at the end of December 2013, which is going to be 2014. Kevin Omni. I'm trying to get my thoughts together.
Okay, give me 5 basic principles of voguing.
Oof. Well, that's, to me, that's kind of difficult, because the only thing I saw at the beginning, I don't know how to title it, in 1975, before I go there, the other quote is, I'm saving my life.
Yes.
What that means is, I'm not putting up with nonsense. I don't want to hear stupidity. I don't want ignorance. I don't want people that always got confusion. I want all of that away from me. So that's why I have the biggest block list. because I don't want to read people's ignorant posts. I don't want, and this is nothing, they're not saying anything to me personally, but it's like, you know, did you even look at all the misspelled words? Did you, you know, it's blatant that you're not, I don't want to be around any of that.
Right.
And I've separated myself from that, you know. But anyway, getting back to now, what was that question again?
Well, I want to know the 5 basic principles of voguing and runway.
Okay, well,
just for the
I can't.
People who's tuning in, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, I really personally, since it's changed so much, you know, I thank Mysterious Mystery Dior, who gave us the Michaela, and that was in 1994. And then they started the Vogue Femme behind that. I guess that Michaela dip is what really made Vogue Femme important. The old way was the they call it the cat stand or something. I forgot what they call it. But, you know, you were able to do that. Then you had hands performance. It all depended on, like, what the specific category is asking for. You know, then it's kind of self-explanatory on what you should do. New Way involved nothing but stretch.
Right.
And Old Way was the Old Way dips and enhancements. A lot of the New Way kids that walked New Way were flexible and double and triple jointed and all type of stuff and could do some fantastic splits. And I'm not saying that the Old Way children couldn't do it, but the Old Way children didn't go to that far. That's why they call it Old Way and they call it New Way. Prior to that, it was just performance. I mean, you did whatever it was that you did to the beat, whether it was Old Way, New Way, or whatever. And then you had pop that was like, you know, that last part after you came out voguing either Old Way or New Way, when they would say pop, dip, and spin, that you were supposed to hold that last spin or whatever. So, and then again, voguing femme. And then you had that breaking down to voguing with dramatics. You know, then you had realness with a twist come in there to give you vogue. That, so, you know, that's the...
All right. Where's less enough with the Kiki real quick. Where is this cultural movement evolving today? You know, the house ballroom scene.
Where is it evolving?
Yeah. Or where would you like to see it evolve?
I would like for people to get back to having fun. I would like for people to get back to realizing that there's so many things wrong in, let's just say specifically the ballroom. We have to be accepting that a lot of the kids that start trouble or whatever, a lot of them suffer from mental illness. They do. And they think going to a psychiatrist or a therapist is the wrong thing to do. That's not the wrong thing to do. That's the right thing to do.
Right, it is.
Because sometimes you need to talk things out. Now, I'm going to admit to you and your audience, I've been going to therapy for 14 years. And so people ask me, well, has it made you better? I said, well, I'm a lot better off probably than I would be if I didn't go.
Right.
That's number one.
I have a lot of friends that did seek therapy for mental illness and health, and they are doing a lot much better. So shout out to these people who recovered and fixed their life, you know, as
right, shout out.
ULTRA OMNI was saying.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you something. I had to talk to somebody because I had a lot of anger inside of me. And the anger didn't come because of the ballroom children. The anger came because of AIDS. I was losing people, and I was angry. I was angry and hurt, tired of whining and mourning and crying and wearing the same black suit. And then I couldn't sit in the funerals and just sit there and cry like everybody else. No, they wanted me on the agenda to do the eulogy. And I was sometimes like not wanting to do the eulogy of people. I wanted to cry like everybody else. But guess what? I did it. I came through. I was reliable and accountable. And then you know what? When I went home, I tried to escape what I had to deal with that pain and do drugs.
Really?
Yeah, because it was too much. Every time I turned around, somebody was dying. And it was somebody that was close to me that I broke bread with. Or I partied with them in the clubs with, or at the balls with.
What you cared about?
Well, let me tell you something. When I was 12 and 13 and 14, I volunteered each year during Christmas time at Wyckoff Heights Hospital in Brooklyn. And what I would do is I would bring the kids toys that I made in toy